Let's just go. Today we're gonna just read r/history. What does Reddit say about history? We do a mod about trolling. Turkmenistan getting away with being a crazy dictatorship on par with North Korea after 1991. I don't get Okay, so this should be interesting. I am gonna do a little bit of censorship in case there is swear words because I'm a very family-friendly channel, so I gotta be very polite. Real medieval castles, way more interesting than the later palaces as labeled as castles. Cashier, hi, how are you today? Me, beginning a speech about how the misrepresentation of castles in media is both a tragedy and a crime against medieval history. I'm on with you. How do you upvote? Okay, so, here. Finish reading 1890s America labor history. The violence. Oh my. So he's just talking all about, okay, so I get the whole idea. All he is just talking about human history because I think I get the joke now. Alright, does America suck though? He's just explaining all of human history. Wait, there was Inspector Gadget. Inspector Gadget. Yeah, he caused all the labor problems. Also, America doesn't suck. You're just a spoiled brat. Like father, like son. The Spanish American War, 1898. Theodore Roosevelt. Alright, boys, on me. We'll charge up San Juan Hill. You heard the colonial. You heard the colonel. Charge! Normandy invasion, 1944. Theodore Roosevelt Jr. Alright, boys, on me. We charge up the Utah beach. You heard the general. Charge! Oh. Yeah, he was, him and, I believe it was like son or grandson. No, I think it was his son. They both, led this stuff. Even the grandson too. Yeah, it was grandson. That's actually kind of funny. Another one of Teddy's sons was a pilot who was shot down in World War I. That is true. That is true. Honestly, this is cool. I think Reddit seems pretty interesting so far. This is the first time I've ever been on Reddit. I'm gonna make like a live stream soon on this. Soon. Big brain move from the Romans. Now that we have walked of Gudon Horn with the chain, no one can get to Constantinople via ships. The Ottomans. Oh, you see them? Oh, I watched this episode. With my cousins. It was like a couple months back. I get it. Got it. They just did something just crazy, you know? Something as insane as that. Yeah. Age of all the Lord of the Rings actors during the filming in 1999. So let's look. Frodo, who was Elijah Wood. Birthday 1981, he's 18 years old. Arwen is 22. Legolas 22. Mary 22. I don't know who that is anymore. Yomer, 27. Sam 28. Galadriel 30. Pippin 31. Eowyn 31. Elmon 33. Farming 34. Gollum 75. Bro, Gollum. They made it look so great. Lord of the Rings is just awesome. Who's the oldest? Saruman 77. Unfortunately, he died. Ooh, divided by race, united by hate. When I'm in a racial diversity competition and my opponent in late World War II, Waffen SS is late World. Yeah, I don't get the whole thing with trying to make everything super diverse. I mean, like, I guess, but like, I don't really see a point. No one has ever really cared for that. They kind of focused on, I don't know, on being good instead of just trying to get every color. But you know, that's on them, I guess. The leader can do what he wants. Children, old men, when they're forced into uniforms and told to fight to the death, only to find out the one who gave the order hid in a bunker and shot himself. Yeah, Facts. Yeah, I know who they're referring to. Probably other people have done it in the past, though. Yeah, leaders can be cowards when they don't know what to do. 4 missing children found alive in a jungle 40 days after a plane crash. Oh, that's cool. That's really nice. That's really nice. Let's read some of the comments. I want to see the positivity. Siblings, 13-year-old Leslie, Bluey. Europeans in the 1800s. So remake Europeans. So this is Switzerland.
There's no magical place where
Britain, France, and Belgium. And this is the 1800s, so.
everything's just free. Louie, look!
Germany, Italy, and Portugal.
It's everything we want!
I know. They all. I get the joke. Yeah, I get it. They really wanted Africa. They all like fought over it, you know. The earliest people who got it, the earliest Europeans who got it, I think were Portugal, Spain, you know, France, Britain. I think Britain was the first one, other than the Dutch. Yeah, also Dutch, Netherlands. But they were Britain was like I think the first or second to get the Cape Colony down in South Africa. And then for China, well, they just split it up. Russia especially took a lot of land from there. They never got Africa, though.
Are these all for free? Yes, they're all for free.
Switzerland's neutral. They're like, do whatever you want. We literally don't care. I think this actually does represent Europe pretty well. We're just kind of like childish for what they were doing. Just, yay, let's get everything we want, you know? And then Switzerland felt like more like the adult here. What was even the point of killing all the intellectuals in your country? Actually, you don't need to kill me and my family just because I wear prescription glasses and have a PhD in theoretical physics. I'm still perfectly loyal to this country. I'm a socialist too. Bill, you socialists. Get out of here. This dude lived until 1998 and died at 72. I just read this. It's blowing my mind. I always assumed he had been executed in 1970s. Let's see this one. 70s France was not a good time to be a kid. Let's see what French intellectual community was up in 1977. Oh no. Yeah, that was so this was that like 1970s France? Yeah, 1977. I don't get this one. I don't know France how it was in the 70s. I know it was like Cold War era. There's just so much in history. It's hard to really have everything. When my little brother asked me what caused World War I, it's a long and complicated story. No, it wasn't just what do you mean just the Germany? Okay, I'm being honest. I would argue it's more Austria-Hungary's fault for World War I. And then a bit of Russia and Serbia too. Maybe Russia the most, because like, if they never mobilized, this wouldn't have happened. Germany has a little responsibility too, just not as much. Really nice. And Americans still wonder why the Vietnamese people chose the North. Okay, so the Chad, North Vietnam, fought against the Japanese and the French to see their country. Led by war hero Ho Chi Minh, got aid from the Soviets and China, but mostly fought on their own. Leader has a cool beard. And then Virgin South Vietnam, Western puppet, led by corrupt dictator who oppressed and massacred his own people. Would have literally collapsed without American intervention. Leader doesn't have a beard. Yeah, that sounds like South Vietnam wasn't really anything. At least, like, you know, they had a foundation. That's the problem. A country needs a foundation, a reason to exist, right? They had something. They had already some foundation. South Vietnam had no foundation with them. They had no real culture. That's why I think makes a country a good country, or just a country in general a lot of the time. It's kind of the culture there. As much as I don't like Vietnam, as much as I think communism is such an evil ideology. I will give them this. North Vietnam played well. We should never, I changed my mind with a lot of this stuff. Maybe we shouldn't have intervened. Maybe we should have just let it play out. But we would have stopped it as soon as, something like Laos, or maybe, possibly it starts influencing India or Bangladesh. I think that's when we should have, intervened more. We should just let that part play out. And then focused on still being, good, not having corrupt people. It's bad when even the Nazis call you out. Germany, after finding out about the atrocities being committed by Croatia, there isn't even a bro moment at this point. When you are fighting communists in Vietnam but aren't seceding, so you try bombing their supply lines in Cambodia only to destabilize the country, allowing communists to take over there. The Cambodian communists were murdered millions of people before being overthrown by the Vietnamese communists they were originally fighting. Oh, yeah, thumbs up. I'll give you an upvote. I have no idea what you just said though. No, I get it though. We did have a huge mess up there, but like I said before, we should have been a little more careful and looked into it more before we just jump in. When you sacrificed 80,000 people of your own citizens to slow Axis invasion in August 1941, yeah. They threw their men a lot. That's why I hate the Soviet Union and Stalin. He just threw a lot of his men. He didn't really go as much for strategy. He killed all the good generals. Thus, Lord of the Rings and more was born. Most World War I soldiers. I just had my best day. I just had my best friend die from my eyes. This war is devastating. Tell me about it. I don't have any boots. And then J.R.R. Tolkien. Yeah. He was inspired, that is true. World War I is depressing. Oh, this should be interesting. Yeah, the USSR did a lot of messed up things. Stalin deported, terrorized, starved, targeted our ethnicities, crushed our languages and cultures, not being Russian. Stalin was evil and the USSR was a racist nightmare for non-Russians. No, sweetie, that was problematic. No, that's 100% true. All these people. I only know the Ukrainians. But maybe if Russia, didn't do that stuff, there would have been more. There is so much, no one realizes this, but there's different types of white people just as there's different types of black people. Different kinds of, cultures, ethnicities, groups, languages, identities, all that type of stuff. Russia oppressed many of these types of groups. Neo-Nazis, Hitler was so manly. Also Hitler. What? What is he wearing? Yeah, no, if you need to put a blame on this other group and not take responsibility for your actions, that's actually, I'm pretty sure, more of a feminine trait than a masculine trait. I would say Hitler was more like a feminine kind of acted kind of feminine, because think about this. If your masculinity is about controlling emotion, all it was hate, showing too much emotion. I say it was more of it kind of felt a little feminine, just the toxic femininity, I would almost say. I know it wasn't, I think their whole point was to be the most right-wing possible and all of that, but I sometimes feel like Nazi Germany was just toxic femininity. I think toxic masculinity would just be robots having no emotion. I think they showed both of that with soldiers and with kind of how it showed their hatred, right? I'm gonna look at one more, then we'll end it off. Poland, the empire upon which the sun never sets. Poland is technically a North American country? What? In the 1920s, the Canadian government gave them some land in Niagara to honor Polish troops who died there training for World War I. It's still officially their territory. Their flag still flies. There's a gated border, and the Polish government has even made an official visit. Jesse, what are you talking about? So the Canadian government gave them land in North America to honor Polish troops who died there training for World War I. Okay, so basically they gave them a bit of North American land. So yeah, I guess to a certain extent, technically speaking, it could be that, but they started from Europe, so I would consider them European. Like, there's no way they would be North American. I get it, like, you know, like the whole meme joke and all. Yeah, I want to look more, but that was pretty interesting. We looked into a lot of these memes. Reddit is certainly an interesting thing to look into. Yeah, so I'll just end it here. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you soon. Goodbye.